You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
This economic crisis, but you know, we have the chief of staff for President Obama is an old friend of mine and my husband's, and was in the White House when Bill was there, and he said, you know, never waste a good crisis. And when it comes to the economic crisis, don't waste it when it can have a very positive impact on climate change and energy security, and that's what we're trying to do.
A wave of protest rocks parts of Nigeria's major cities and towns, including places in Oyo, Kwara, and Delta states. Their agitation is fueled by the lingering scarcity of the new 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes after the central bank insists on its February 10th deadline, phasing out the old notes despite the Supreme Court order to the contrary, for which the Apex Bank argues that it was not joined as a party in the suit filed by some state governments to halt its implementation. Barricades and bonfires on Gambari, Yakuba, and other streets in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, is how the protesters in the city are showing how displeased they are.
So we are a driver, we are driving a motor, but we don't have option to go to anywhere, because when we go to filling station now, they will not accept the money from us. So everybody are versing. Not only this place, so everywhere, people are versing now. So we want government to announce that everybody should be collecting the money.
This makeshift football ground under Mokola Bridge at Sabo Junction in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, is clearly indicative that economic activities are halted due to barricades by protesters on the road, stopping vehicular movement and forcing people to walk long distances due to the hardship associated with the cash crunch. The police authority in Oyo State maintains that the intention of the policy is for the greater good, and the security agencies are only playing their role.
There are some people who we have been able to intercept their interests, which is definitely against the interests of members of the public. But people don't know, and therefore we need to have an understanding. The security agencies are all over the place working, and we don't want this frustrated, because the people we are working for should also understand us. A policeman is a human being. He has human rights. You just see him because you have problem with CBN and you fire him or you kill him. And you say you are fighting. What are you fighting? You are an agent of disunity.
However, in Delta State, things turned violent as the protesters invade this commercial bank on Udu Road.
They don't break our gate, oh! They don't break our gate, oh! Jesus, oh! Jesus, oh! They don't break our gate, oh!
2 seconds now, they don't destroy this bank. Boys, they're not a waste time.
They don't run. Police don't come.
The consensus appears to be that the CBN policy on the redesign of the new Naira note is a great idea, but opinions are divided over its implementation. Jeffrey Uzongo, Channels Television News.
Virtual dollar card service by major fintechs buying from international stores has become very difficult for many Nigerians. Problem was further compounded recently after more Nigerian banks suspended international transactions on Naira cards. It's Nigeria's forex scarcity, and these scarcity crisis are still ongoing at this point. Join me now is Favor Ori, CEO Payday. Join me via Zoom. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
So it looks like the dollar has become quite a scarce currency for international payments in these parts. And I'm wondering how you fintech still, issuing virtual cards, how are you managing with the scarcity?
So Payday is an American company. So what we do is we issue our users real American bank accounts and real American debit cards. So we give you an American account, you get paid in USD, and you basically have a card to spend your USD. So that's pretty much how we navigate around this.
And obviously, looking at how that's, going forward in Nigeria now. We have this whole dollar scarcity going on, the rates, quite different, from what we have. We have two markets, so that definitely impacts, how, you fintechs actually work with the virtual card. So how are you able to, navigate all of that uncertainty?
So first, these cards are like real USD cards pegged to a US bank. So let's say you live in Nigeria, you want to make payments and you don't have dollars, right? You can just put your Naira on the Pay platform and then use our cards. Our rates are really fair, like pretty much cheapest in the market.
And obviously, there must be some kind of security risk with virtual dollar cards, because at the end of the day, you don't have a physical copy of it. It's right there on the internet. We have a lot of cybersecurity risk in 2023, even in 2022 with the Russia-Ukraine war. So how do you keep this virtual card safe?
Now, the irony is that virtual cards are safer than physical cards, because you could basically step out and lose your plastic card, right? And then you have to call your bank, hey, my card is missing, lucky for me, and then they will air you. They won't even call you back. It's a whole risk. But like for virtual cards, it's on your device, right? You lose your phone, or you lose your, you feel like you've been compromised. All you need to do is go to the app and then lock the card. It's like straightforward, just one step. Lock the card, unlock the card. So I feel like it's way safer than using plastic cards.
مصاريفكم بدنا نولعها واحد واحد، وبعد المصاريف رايحين على بيوتكم، على بيوت يا اولاد الحرام. يلي بياخد مالك.
Have you read anything recently about the unrest in Lebanon? In response to the Lebanese pound's historic low against the U.S. dollar on Thursday, Beirut saw demonstrations and the burning of several banks throughout the country. Up until the start of the economic crisis in 2019, when the official exchange rate of 1,507 pounds to $1 was set, it remained constant. Since then, the pound has lost over 90% of its value. The government finally devalued the official rate to 15,000 pounds to $1 earlier this month, leading to the emergence of multiple exchange rates. Many Lebanese whose savings and salaries are in pounds are seeing their purchasing power decrease as a result of this devaluation. Lebanese banks have been mismanaging money for years, contributing to the dramatic rise in inflation, which has resulted in capital controls that make it difficult for people to access the majority of their savings. Lebanese citizens have protested and stormed banks in response to this crisis. Last week, banks in Lebanon closed definitely in support of a new capital control law. The main lesson that we all can learn from this is that when situations get dire and when economic crises occur, it only exacerbates people's suffering. Have you ever gone through a financial crisis? It's happening more and more. Now it's just a matter of time before it comes to a bank or something like that near you.